don't you came to the stream for, but StarCraft should probably be near the top. We're already loaded in here to our next match. Game number 1 going to be on Death Aura LE. Grant, who are we going to be playing with today?
In the top left, he is the blue Protoss player from Chile, the Chilean. It is Darkness. Currently teamless, guys, so if you own a team, maybe give this guy a little phone call.
Although, depending on who wins this match, you may want to make a different phone call, because in the bottom right-hand corner, in the red, another teamless player. This player representing Brazil. In the red, it's our Zerg player, Erik.
Okay, so it looks like we're seeing the openings we would expect. Gateway on the low ground, Gate Nexus coming in, I very much imagine, into Cybercore, into Pylon, into Second Gas, etc, etc. Hatch, Pool, Gas. Okay, so is this going to be gasless? I haven't seen gasless in a long time.
Gasless so far. That's a little surprising. Probe will get in to spot the hatch and the pool down first before that gas. Still no gas taken. I think if you go for the first gas a little bit late, you go for it around 16 or 17. I'm a little rusty on my Zerg openings exactly. But yeah, this is a long time to wait here for a gas. Could be a lot of links coming out very quickly for Erik. Or is he just waiting to get a third base down and then go for roaches?
I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick third base off of this. He's saving a lot of money here. You can see in terms of money, he's already close to 300 already. We're not seeing a drone move out yet for that. Now, is this guy going? No, he's going down to the natural. Is it just going to be 2 very quick queens? Yep, 2 quick queens, and now we should see the third coming in. Just a little bit earlier, probably at around the 210 mark instead of the 220, 230 mark. Would be a guess.
First gas drops, though, and it looks like he will transition to a bit more of a standard build from here. Behind this, we see the second gas just finishing up for our Protoss player. Standard timings there. One time I asked Gemini, when does a Protoss player get their second gas? And he said, well, if you don't get it at 21, it's just a waste. So that's always my benchmark there. If you haven't gotten your gas by 21 yet, you're making, or your second gas by 21, you're making a bit of a mistake. Interestingly, though, on Erik's side of the map, we're hitting the 230 mark. Still no drone popping out for a third base for Erik.
3 more queens coming in. Still a lot of queens. Gas count now starting to grow here for Erik as he has a couple of workers on it. I'm not too sure what he's looking to do here, if I'm honest with you. I need a Zerg expert, because this is a very late to be sitting on 2 bases right now. Now, are we going to see a lot of Lings and maybe a Nidus? What's the Overlord placement? No, it doesn't look like a Nidus from the Overlord placement, because this bad boy is about to get shot down.
Yeah, not a great scout there from Erik. The Robo, pardon me, about to finish up for Darkness here. Darkness going to go for Warp Prism here? Or straight into Immortal Play, do you think?
I would say he will probably go for an Observer first, and then possibly begin Immortal Sentry production. He has gas, he hasn't thrown down any Twilight Councils or anything like that. So we're not going to see any DTs, anything crazy. It looks like Darkness is just going to play very, very safe. I think he'll take his third soon. What is our Zerg doing? He's now taking... Oh, it's 2 base mute. Oh, no, it's not. He doesn't have a lair.
2 base roach.
Base roach. So this is quite...
2 base speed roaches.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is something you do often see when there's no gas taken initially. The slow gas, you have 2 base speed roaches coming out, and this is going to be... Oh, hang on, I gotta sneeze. Hang on, fill time, Grant. I gotta sneeze. Hang on.
This Overlord now getting shot down before he can get any more information here from Erik. Erik's not done a great job of getting scouting whatsoever. All he's seen is the front 3 buildings here of the Protoss, and that means he's playing very, very blind. And the multi-production is now beginning, but there were 2 observers. So, have the observers made their way across the map? Have they made their way downtown just yet? Let's take a look. One of them now getting pretty close and the other one's still at home. Okay, so when will the roaches be discovered? We do have an Evo chamber. Still no third base here from our Zerg player. Now getting into the 4-minute mark. It's getting way too late to transition. He's going to have to make something happen. He's at 40 drones. He's making a load of roaches. And Creighton Olsen has sneezed.
I've not actually sneeze update.
Oh, no.
It went away without me actually sneezing. So it's now just living in my sinus cavity, waiting to come out and surprise me later in the cast. Very exciting stuff. The Queen's here to try and, I guess, continue to spread this creep here. The creep spread very, very robust from Erik, but there's no third base. And now Darkness knows there's no third base. The Observer going to get caught there. A nice snipe by Erik. And that's going to prevent Darkness from seeing what he's up to. +1 missile attack on the way. Roach speed on the way. This is going to be a big attack from Erik here in about a minute or 2.
Yeah, so it's a +1 roach speed attack. Is it going to be a creep highway or something? He doesn't have overseers, right? He doesn't have many. He has 2, so you may create a bit of a creep highway here. He's currently got 1 overseer at one side of the map and the other one with the army. It looks like he's going to start moving out possibly now. He throws down his third at 5 minutes 11. We have the third base from the Protoss at the exact same time, in fact. So it's a very late... For the race that generally wants to be one base ahead, this is very late. Now, Glial Constitution is going to be finishing very, very shortly. What is... I just don't understand Erik's build.
It's a very unusual build indeed. Today, Grant, has been the day to stump all casters. Another observer goes down there. Second one that Erik's picked off now. But this has been a day to stump casters for sure. Very interesting builds. Not surprising to see players saving some of these unorthodox builds for such a big event. As we said earlier, $17,000 on the line for these players. The prize pool only gets sweeter with every match you win. So it is essential that these players do the very best they can, and going out to a one-game lead gives you such confidence. And look at that, Grant. The upgrades coming down from our Zerg player. We are going to see some cheeky purple roaches coming down.
Yeah, so as soon as the lair finished, we now see... oh, no, it wasn't as soon as the lair finished. It was after Glial Constitution finished. We now see Roach Burrow coming... we see Burrow coming in and Roach Burrow movement. We have +1 very close to finishing. Pneumatized Carapace also about to finish off here to provide that little bit more information. And spot here for the roaches that are to enter.
I'm honestly a little disappointed, Grant. The last game that we saw burrowed roaches in was that Lambo game where he built 2 roach warrens at the same time to get burrowed roach and roach speed out very quickly. Nice goop there on the blink, gonna stop that upgrade from finishing up quite quickly. But so I don't know. Any burrowed roach game is still exciting, but nothing holds a candle quite to the excitement of that first Lambo game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That was incredible. Lambo made 2 Roach Warrens, got Roach Speed and Burrowed Roach movement at the same time, as well as Burrow. We're still not sure if it was an accident, but we're pretending it definitely isn't. That is so many Ravagers. The Cocoon's now coming. Now, Erik is still up in supply, and it is mainly army supply. He's just done everything. Like, his third was a little slow. He's got a lot of units, though, but against this many Immortals already? This many
I'm just not sure. Sentry Immortal, a very strong build against Roach Ravager, even with +2 on the way here from Erik. I'm not sure if he's going to wait for that +2, if he's going to try and sneak some burrowed roaches in. The good news is he's taken down a lot of observers this game. 2 of them have gone down, but there is a second observer on the way already, 1 on the map. And I'm not sure if these burrowed roaches are actually going to be able to sneak by. This is a very strange build from Erik, and Darkness is preparing, I think, as best he can, but I'm not sure how good that is.
We see the roaches burrowing up here to the north, just taking their time, biding it. Is there an observer at home? Yes, there is. Oh, starting to move out, actually.
Uh-oh. If the roaches come in from the north side, that observer won't spot them. And Erik has that pack of roaches there at the 12 o'clock, just kind of waiting right now to sneak into the third base. So I'll be very excited to see if he can make it in there. Behind this, +2 ground weapons for our Protoss player, more Immortals popping out, and as Grant is showing us, photon cannons left and right. These roaches will get spotted as soon as they make it to the natural or the third.
Yeah, I like Darkness's defense here. He really doesn't know what he was playing against, and I think he may have figured it out, because this many photon cannons is just such a great tell that you're playing, that he knows he's playing against something suspicious. Boom!
Snipes the third observer for the day.
That was like a drive-by too. Like, he didn't stop, just walked past, threw his hand up in the air, and it just landed on his head. Oh my god, this is so many Ravagers.
Beautifully done. Yeah, tons of Ravagers out now. The burrowed roaches spotted immediately, kicked away from that third base. They are going to get back in, though, the observer now with the main army, which means the third base could be under duress here. 4 roaches, not quite enough, but here's the real attack on the third base.
Looks like our Protoss player is going to push this back for now. A few Stalkers warped in over here as well to the 4th base, and they're going to do a great job of defending. Force fields buying a lot of time here. Does look like our Zerg is going to make his way up. Is there a super battery available? Yes, there is. But there is no battery available anymore, as that did get biled down. A couple of biles on the cannons as well. This may open it up for future attempts here for burrowed roaches and things. The blink forward actually is very aggressive. These Immortals on this right-hand side, they are chewing through this force, and now it is falling rapidly. Darkness is still down in supply, still down in army supply, but we can see right now this army is very inefficient against what Darkness has.
Yeah, if you're anything like me during that fight, you were watching the Stalkers, because the human eye is drawn to white space, which means you're more likely to watch those light blue Stalker beams popping out. But what you didn't see, of course, was that north flank, including the 4 Immortals in the north flank, which were shelling away at the roaches the entire time during that fight. And that was, I think, the key point in Darkness's army, the keystone of Darkness's army that allowed him to get a lot of damage done there. DT's now slipping into the third base, but of course Erik gonna spot those and gonna move along with them and keep his eye on those DTs as they try and come down to his 4th base. Spores down, and 3 more Overseers on the way to make sure he doesn't get caught by surprise by these DTs. Erik seems to be doing everything right now, even though he's down about 20 workers.
Yeah, 15 workers at the moment is still a pretty substantial amount here for the Protoss player. Now, one thing our Protoss has going for him is his +3 upgrade has already begun. We are like 100 miles away from +3 here for our Zerg player. He's not even going to be able to start that. There's no infestation pit started, let alone a hive, let alone +3. And with Chronos, this will finish very, very fast from our Protoss. No Chrono in it right now, but the energy is there to start dumping into that pretty soon.
Absolutely.
Erik's creep is great.
Erik's creep has been incredible the entire game. 11 minutes, already about 3/4 of the way across the map. He's been pushing it really hard. And since he's been sniping observers the entire time, the observers haven't been able to help Darkness clean it up at all. So Erik's going to try and move on the back of that creep with these burrow roaches, maybe sneak in to the 3rd base and try and find some damage while he sets up with his huge army attack at the 12 o'clock.
Looks like DTs are going to be walked in to try and hold this. A few Blink Stalkers as well going to come in now, blink forward aggressively to push this back. The DT as well doing a great job. There is an Overseer here that will chase down the DT, but we do have a big push here on the 4th as well. And this is looking good. Oh, the Banelings rolling in. Managed to take down 1 Immortal early.
Yeah, and a couple Corrosive Vials getting down as well. Not great dodging there from Darkness, who loses 2 Immortals right off the bat, but he will be able to drive Erik away. Not as scared as he should have been, or not as distracted as he should have been, rather, by that run by the 3rd. I think Erik was just sending those roaches down the bottom side to their doom intentionally to try and draw the army for Darkness away, but Darkness still spotting his 3rd base and making sure that it stayed safe. So as +3 finishes up for our Protoss player, we're going to see 30 Banelings on the way from Erik.
Erik at this point, though, he has no 5th base. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 bases for a long time against the 4-base Protoss. The Protoss, as you can see, mining more. Darkness has more minerals, more gas income. He has the better upgrades for like a long time. There's not going to be any further tech going forward. We've seen no infestation pit go down. So this +2 is where it will end. We've seen +2 melee as well coming in to try and add a bit of oomph to this. Oh, that's so many Banelings. Oh my lord, Creighton.
Force field count is terribly low right now. Only a few sentries out here. Corrosive Vials raining down prematurely on those force fields. Very nicely spotted by Erik, who's able to get those Corrosive Vials down immediately. Not just zoning out the Protoss, but making sure those force fields don't get any damage. Don't prevent any Baneling damage from being done. And Erik is going to, again, take a nice engagement, land a couple Corrosive Vials, try and pick down some of the Immortals, and then get out of there. He's doing a great job so far.
I am starting to worry a little bit, though. Like, Darkness's army is so scary. +3 is done. And that means as long as he dodges a little bit better than that, he's going to be able to take some very, very efficient fights. Cost efficiency is the name of the game right now, especially for Darkness. For Erik, he needs to be more cost efficient than his opponent because he's mining on equal bases as a Zerg. That was a much better dodge. Ooh, skin in the teeth, then.
Absolutely. Erik's doing the best he can on Roach, Ravager, Ling, Bane, but I always say during my games, as a Zerg player, a general rule of thumb, if you're still making Roach Ravager after about the 10-minute mark, something in your game has probably gone horribly wrong, because Roach Ravagers don't really trade efficiently with anything in the late game. No matter how good your Corrosive Vials are, these Immortals are still going to eat your Roaches and Ravagers apart. Now, getting a couple of Immortals is nice, sniping them down, but these, even with losing a couple of Immortals, they are still going to do absolutely destructive damage here. Baneling's getting in, trying to roll on top of the army of Darkness here. Nice splitting, nice blinks away from Darkness here, and the Baneling's not target firing very effectively. A couple of Immortals are going to go down. It's now mostly Blink Stalker, with 1 more Immortal coming out. Not a bad trade for our Protoss player, but not a great trade for either player.
I will say, as that fight started, there were 11 Immortals on the field. There's 2 now. A lot more Immortals went down and probably met the eye. We also have a DT killing some defenses here. The Darkness is now pushing out. He's been contained by Roach Ravager for a long time. It is frustrating if you are a Darkness fan that he did lose so many Immortals, but I still think just in terms of pure force, it's +3 against unarmored units. And what that means is these Ravagers just vanish. A couple of Stalker shots will kill them, and you can see right now. Now, the good thing for the Zerg is that the Banelings are going to do a lot of damage because there is no armor also on the Protoss side, but the Blicks have been really quite nice here.
Yeah, no force fields to zone him out here, but great blinks from the Stalkers, and I think Darkness is going to trade very effectively now. Even if he eats a couple Corrosive Vials here, he's able to get in and start putting pressure here on the 3rd base. He's been slowly making his way across the map now, little by little, He tries to get on top of these units, and another great blink out. Will lose one Archon, but the Stalker's in such good shape now. The army supply is roughly even, but Darkness has been in the income lead for the last 6 minutes in this game, and there's no question that Erik has been unable to establish a new base, been unable to drone out a little bit more, as the Protoss pressure has stayed on. So as long as this fight continues to trade evenly, at least for our Protoss player, I think Darkness is in decent shape.
I think Darkness's micro has left a little to be desired.
Yes.
It hasn't been perfect. He had a Prism throughout all of that, and he didn't juggle the Immortals, losing both of them. The Prism now will go down to that blink. And as I said, maybe a couple of small micro mistakes here from the Protoss player, but I think he's just at such an advantage now. He's up 9 workers. His army supply sure is a little bit less, but look at the upgrades. He's now finally getting some armor upgrades to make these Stalkers that little bit more brick wally. And he's still even on basis.
Yeah, one thing I'll encourage you to check out if you have a chance, Grant, is that Resources Lost tab, showing that our Zerg player is actually playing more efficiently than our Protoss player, Erik, with slightly fewer resources lost than Darkness, which is a little surprising. Of course, the nature of the Zerg race is to throw away more of your units. You can trade inefficiently because you have a higher income than your opponent. Generally, that's how Zerg is intended to be played. Nice save on the 4th base here from Darkness, by the way. But for now, Erik's slightly more efficient trades than Darkness, who, as we said, his micro leaving a bit to be desired here, eating a lot of corrosive biles that we wouldn't expect from a top-tier Protoss player. Hopefully he can get the golden engagement that he wants, and I think if he takes one good engagement against these Stalkers, or against these Roach Ravagers, he should be in pretty good shape. But of course, Erik can turn the tides with some good Baneling hits as well. This is still very much anybody's game, Grant.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one thing to sort of counteract what you said is, yeah, sure, Erik has traded very efficiently, but he's never been up in bases for like the entire game. He's played it very, very closely, so I do think this is still very close. I'm still concerned. Finally, a Spire going down here. Hive is also done, so we should see free start up soon for our Zerg.
He's getting at Adrenal Glands. I don't think he has that many Zerglings on the map right now, actually. Oh,
No,
40 of them. Okay, that's a fair amount. So that'll help to increase the DPS just a bit. But here we go. A big attack finally for Erik on this 3rd base again, as the 5th base gets assaulted by this Ling run by also. Roach Ravagers going to get pushed away, and man, again, a bit of a nothing burger attack from Erik, who's unable to really get much done. Shield Battery Overcharge being used in that 5th base at the 1 o'clock, and DTs will chase away those Lings. Darkness with a good defense. Still 12 probes ahead. And yeah, Adrenal Gland's about to finish. We'll see if that changes the story of this game.
I would have liked that counter-attack to the north. I think was really, really nice. It was a great idea. If he'd have waited 15 seconds for Adrenal, it would have been a different matter, even with the super battery. Adrenal is very good. The cannon would have gone down much quicker, and it would have been probably a different battle. So maybe a little bit jumping the gun here from Erik. The game's still very, very close. As we get closer to the 20-minute mark.
I have to agree with you there. A little bit of a premature attack from Erik. But we'll see if he can make it happen this time. Now the Lings are far forward, chasing away these Zealots. 4 cannons down. DT is going to get picked off immediately here. I love there are plenty of Overseers from Erik. He's being very cautious. Last of the full-time cannons should go down here. But the Protoss army is just so terrified. We've said it several times now. Even though Darkness has lost a lot of Immortals this game, he's lost 15 Immortals this game. He is already back up on 8 Immortals, which is a very scary number.
Yeah, definitely. If you can get more than 5 or 6 Immortals, Roach Ravagers becomes absolutely pointless, because it will, with +3, they will one-shot everything here. We do have a counter-attack of Ling DT coming down to the southwest, but very, very well scouted here by Erik. He has an overseer, even with his small armies, meaning that with a little bit of creep micro, he will defend that no further.
Yeah, well done indeed. Now the Greater Spire about to finish up. First Corruptors on their way out here from Erik, who's looking to transition to Broodlord from here. The bad news for Erik is that Darkness has a crap ton of Blink Stalkers, and of course Stalkers in these numbers can generally get right underneath those Broodlords, blink very aggressively, or even walk underneath them, take them down, and then blink away. The question is going to be, can Erik get up to a critical mass, get up to 8, 9, 10 Broodlords, where he has Broodlings constantly going down, and saving himself. Good probe pull from Darkness here, saving all those probes at the 3rd base. 5th base, pardon me.
Yeah, really nice there from Darkness. We see a few Zealots queued up here. They do have Zealot charge, so there's some speedy-ass boys. Moving down to the southwest again, Erik's been defending fantastically. Some of his attacks may be perfect now as we look at resources lost. You can see he has lost a lot less. 106 Banelings, 82 Roaches have died.
Goodness gracious. That's a terrible amount. Looks like another fight going down. Immortals caught slightly out of position, but they are going to be able to be saved. The Stalkers blink away from the Baneling side, I imagine. A couple Lings clear if they can. DT's been warped in, though, with some nice mineral walking. Darkness should be able to save those units pretty well.
14 drones going down though. Probes going down completely evens up that probe count that's been so ahead for Darkness for so long.
And that's really been his saving grace this game, is that high probe count. He's been relying on the fact that his income has been so much higher than his opponent, and that explains why he hasn't been trading as efficiently as a Protoss you would expect, and why he's still in this game. He is moving up to Disruptor, but you know what Disruptors don't fire against, Grant? Broodlords.
No, they're not great against them. What if you get a Phoenix, you lift the Disruptor, and then fire the shot?
Whoa.
You can tell I've been casting for now over 12 hours.
It's all right. We haven't reached like the day 9 mind games level of casting insanity yet, so
I wish we had.
That's still my favorite StarCraft 2 clip of all time.
Which one do you mean?
The one where Day 9 and Apollo had been casting for like 10 hours straight, and Day 9 started talking about mind games, but he'd already made all the jokes to Apollo in the previous, like in the ad break, so Apollo is just sitting there stone-faced, like completely unimpressed, and Day 9 is losing his mind laughing, like all these ridiculous strategies that would never work just because they're mind games. I can't believe you don't know that clip that I'm talking about. It is.
I think I do.
Casting for me. I mean, it's Day 9 just like that wheezy Day 9 laugh where he just can't contain himself anymore. Ooh, some good bailing shots.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of, as the game does continue, guys, we're having scraps all over the map. 12 more probes go down. In terms of the ultimate entertainer, in terms of online entertainment, is Sean.
Oh,
I don't think that
Sean.
Oh yeah, they're both Sean. Day 9. Sorry, Apollo. There's a good chance Apollo is watching as well, so I've just really put myself in it here.
You could have stopped at Sean. You would have been fine.
I should have stopped at Sean. You called me out. Apollo was phenomenally good. I've been there. I was there when Apollo casted his first event, I believe, which is one of the early I-series in the UK.
Wow.
With Total Biscuit, the rest of Salt, but...
Well, that base from Erik is not going to last very long here as the Blink Stalker army moving forward. Looks like 21 probes going down, another assault going down at the 1 o'clock base, and that's where Erik's focusing his army, forcing a recall back home. A huge number of corrosive biles landing, though. First Disruptor Ball's coming down. Disruptor Ball not going to find a whole lot of damage. All the army is back here, but the Roaches and Ravagers doing a lot of damage. Holy smokes, that's a lot of Ravagers, Grant.
Yeah, lots and lots of Ravagers right now. Raining down on top of these. Oh, they're getting some pretty decent corrosive biles, but again, it's misleading when there are fights behind these mineral lines of how many units there are, because the Stalkers, there's still so many. I thought this was looking pretty rough, but all of a sudden, Darkness is okay. He's down 52 army supply, though.
He is down 52 army supply, but he's down a significant, Erik is down a significant number of drones as well, beginning to be mined out of all of his bases here as we go into almost the 25th minute of this game. We're getting so close to a very long game here. We might get into what we could call the ultra late game before too long, when players start sacrificing their workers for more units. Broodlord's going to venture a little bit too far forward here, but do find themselves over a dead zone in the map. Disruptor Ball's not going to catch anything here, and his forces immediate cancel. They're out of Darkness. That's a big win for Erik, preventing Darkness from expanding again.
These Disruptors look so good. Did you ever play Jack and Daxter on the PS2?
You know, I never did. I never had consoles growing up as a kid because my parents thought video games were the devil.
They look just like that. They look like assets from that game anyway. They look great.
Interesting.
These skins are so good. Oh, Disruptor hits. Oh.
One big Disruptor shot, but 31 probes going down behind this as well. Remember earlier when we said Darkness had the advantage of having more workers? He doesn't have that anymore. Erik is now ahead in workers and ahead in army supply. Even though the army for Darkness is slightly more efficient than Erik's army, there are just so many Roaches and Ravagers here. He's getting up to the point where he may have critical mass and might be able to overrun this army. Oh, misses another Disruptor shot, and things are looking better and better for Erik now as he's able to do some counter pressure on the economy of his opponent as well.
Yeah, really impressed there with the fight that came down from Erik's point of view. Both players now dropping below 100 supply. Erik at 91, Darkness 50. GG is finally called, and Erik takes game 1.
Man, what a game. What a, we say this very often, but literally, what a back and forth this time, Grant. I mean, I'd say we probably called, I don't know, I do my best not to be like, so-and-so is way in the lead this game. It's hard not to do as a caster, but I must have said that about each player 4 times that game.
I literally walked off mid-sentence to close my door and just hoped you wouldn't notice. So now I'm going to pretend I know the answer. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Trados. I think it was very, very close. The scraps were great. I just called you Trados because he messaged me.
Man, Grant, you need some sleep, my man. This is thank goodness this is the penultimate game of the day because you were starting to lose it. Are you like seeing spots yet or anything?
Yeah.
What I said was I try not to call this player is ahead or this player is behind too many times in a game because I think it does a disservice to players because StarCraft is a game that can be turned on a dime, of course. But I think during that game, you and I together probably said, oh, such and such player is ahead for each player at least 4 times, maybe, just because it was such a swingy game back and forth. What a great game.
Why did Rotty just get banned in chat?
Maybe too many periods in his too many repeated characters, I think.
Unlucky Kev. Get wrecked.
Wow. Sorry about that, Robbie.
So we're getting into the game 2 very shortly. Erik has just asked for 1 second for the bathroom. In terms of predictions, it's very hard. We are going to be going into Everdream, which I think is one of the most standard maps here. I wasn't the biggest fan of Erik's build in game 1. I thought he started very slow. He played very defensive. And instead of being the more aggressive player, he was the very much the defender. And I like Zerg to be reactive instead of proactive more. I think if Erik could have been a bit more active on the map, seen things reacted quicker, he probably could have won that game a bit faster.
Yeah, he definitely had a substandard opener for sure. That gasless into very late third base. Very strange way to open, especially in your first game against a player. As we said, there's a lot on the line here. And a little surprising to see players taking such an unusual, unorthodox strategy in game 1. But we've got to see what they bring in game 2 here. I think both these players have the opportunity to really make it work. And Erik, probably the favorite, but Darkness putting on a hell of a show in the previous game.
And speaking of him, in the top right-hand side of Everdream, he is teamless. He is from Chile, the Chilean even. It is the Blue Protoss player, Darkness.
Do you know how I remember that? Because there's a line in Jurassic Park where they're serving Chilean sea bass, and I can always remember how to say someone is from Chile because the guy from Jurassic Park is like Chilean sea bass, I believe. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side, going. Come on, that was great. Going for a 14 pool. It is our Brazilian Zerg player. His name is Erik.
Thank you, Based Erik, for making this a quick game.
Yes, sir. It would not be a Creighton stream if I didn't reference Jurassic Park at least once. He's going to proxy hatch. He's going to proxy hatch. Spinecrawler rush. Come on. Do it. Oh my God, proxy hatch. Yes, Erik. Yes.
So Erik's been watching cats. We do have a proxy hatch. Of course, the pool is done. 1 probe will be pulled. And now 4 more will join the fray. I think 6 is what you need, no? Gateway will go now.
5 with a Zealot or 6 total. The Zealot not going to come out, though the second gate just finishing up. He's not starting a Zealot here. He's got the probes, but 2 of them are just sitting idly here. There it is. Zealot starts from Darkness. I think this is the right response, but is he too little too late here?
First 4 lings are going to come out now at the other side of the map and chase down this probe. There is gas taken, so we'd expect to see Zergling speed start up right now.
Yeah, total of 6 lings, make it 8 now on the map for Erik. He's going to push across here. The natural hatchery is getting picked down little by little. The Zealot about to pop out, and there's ling speed finally popping out just as we move the camera away for it. Cybercore is finished, though. Adept on the way, and I think with the 6 probes, that we'll be able to pick down that hatchery. And there's no way Erik lets this finish, right? He's got the natural hatchery down already, and he's got
He may cancel and immediately make an Evo chamber if he's quick enough. That is a slightly tankier building, and does a good job. But you're not going to break this. Cancels and Evo chamber. Boom.
Great call. Great casting, Grant.
First 8 lings now moving across the map here, but I just don't see this being broken. Of course, he has expanded behind this. So this is by no means super all in. Darkness is up 4 workers, make that 3 workers, 4 workers once again. And we'll be able to get his Nexus up pretty quickly here. Gonna take a gas just to save the drone a little bit longer. The Adept just shading around, doing a little dance here.
Poor drone is having an identity crisis. He's like, I'm going to grow up and be a hatchery. No. I'm going to grow up and be an evolution chamber. No. I'm going to grow up and be a Vespine geyser. Poor guy. He doesn't even know what he wants.
He just downgraded. This is like my life. I wanted to be an astronaut.
He doesn't. Sick plays from Erik here. But despite the cuteness of this play, I'm pretty sure he's putting himself in a bad position late game. I mean, with such an aggressive opener, very similar to last game, where it's just such an unorthodox opener, getting his third base down a little bit late. He's being really cute here, but what has he really done to Darkness? Has he slowed anything down? Has he stopped him from building anything? Not too much. I mean, he pulled 6 of those probes off gas, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, the tech isn't down yet for Darkness. He'd like to get that option out pretty quickly. And I expect we will see... Actually, he's even getting a battery before he throws down any tech. I think we will see a Robo come down pretty quickly here from our Protoss player, just to stay very, very safe in the main, possibly. He may also go Stargate, which is great. If you do get all in, you can make either Phoenixes or a Void Ray very quickly. I like what Erik's doing with these links. He's really trying to make sure nothing moves out. I think he is worried about a Stargate here that has gone down, or a Warp Prism coming out. But we're not going to see any of that, as our Protoss player for now is just going to keep on probing. There's a Robo.
There it is. Finally. Yeah, but just to give a quick compliment to Erik here, one thing that we see a lot of Zerg players doing at the highest levels is leaving 2 or 3 of these lings out on patrol patterns, specifically in those places, so they can catch the Warp Prism move out, so they can catch the whatever happens to pop out. If it's a Stargate, they know when the Phoenix is coming. They know if it's an Oracle first. But I like this from Erik, where he's keeping a bit more map vision, keeping a bit more map control, and just sacrificing a very small amount to make sure he's got that big advantage later in the game. It's a good move from Erik, who's going up to Lair Tech, Roach Warren, Speed Roaches, Grant?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is just getting him into a standard mid-game here. One thing he has got going for him, which is something I worried he may have skipped, is he is getting up to 5 or 6 queens nice and quickly. He's going to keep them going. He's not made any lings now in a considerable amount of time. You know, he made those initial 8. He's not done anything since except drones. So he is up in workers. He has a very healthy queen count. He's now getting the Overlord in, which is going to see absolutely everything in terms of what's in the main.
Overseer in the natural is going to be there to spot it, though. If he moves that Overseer in the natural in, he will be able to spot that Robo Bay. So beautifully. Oh, Erik. Oh, no, Erik turning away at the last second. Not going to see that Robo Bay. So he won't know that there are going to be some, disruptors coming his way? Disruptor drops?
If it's going to be disrupted... Yeah, I think so. Is there a Prism already out? No, there's no Prism, so he would have started the Prism by now. I think it's just going to be a straight-out move out, possibly with Colossus here. It could just be Disruptor pressure as he expands and gets things going.
Always hard to tell in games that start with an unorthodox opening from either side. You never know where the players' heads are going to be. Do they just try and execute the same build they had planned on about a minute late? Do they try and go with the flow and change something up? And it looks like Erik is going for some sort of drop here. Warp Prism on the way. Warp Prism speed on the way with that Gravitic Drive. But look at this. A lot of roaches pouring across the map now. 46 army supply out for our Zerg player.
Yeah, how many Immortals are we currently looking at? 6 sentries, though. I can't see this doing a lot of damage. It has also been seen. Ravager's going to morph in, but look how many sentries are here in position already. A battery can go down if necessary, which I really don't even believe it is. And there's just no way this finds damage. The Ravagers would be nice. If he can snipe maybe a sentry or 2, that would be a real big win. But this push, there's just no way it does game-ending damage at this point.
Yeah, Erik adding on a lot more lings here, but of course these are unupgraded lings. No +1, no no +1 Carapace either. Roach Speed will finish, but that's the only attack. As the attack on the third base begins, Corrosive Bile's picking down some of these force fields. Bad timing on the force fields. They're going to eat an old Corrosive Bile, and some of these lings are going to push forward here. The sentry count down to just 3 right now. Good focus fire on the sentries by those Zerglings, and that's going to be enough to drive Darkness back into the natural. Darkness only on 26 army supply, and look, I know Roaches and Ravagers aren't the most efficient use of your army supply, but when you're 3 times the army supply of your opponent, I'm not sure if efficiency is your key problem. That third place finishes, but it's not going to last for very long, Grant.
Yeah, very nice sniper at the third base. We do have the Disruptor drop coming in. That wasn't enough, I don't think. It gets a good few 3 or 4 Ravagers and a couple of lings here. But the Ravagers now doing a great job, and it looks like Erik is steamrolling ahead. He's still at double the army supply of his opponent. This Disruptor's a long way from being able to fire, and it's also going to have to fire from a fair distance, allowing the micro protection here for the dodge. The Disruptor actually going to get caught. It goes down. Oh, it lives. It's on 1 hit point, though. This Immortal will get saved. So many units going down here. Disruptor will have to fire from behind the wall. He's recalling.
Bit of a greedy play from Darkness there to try and